Hi everyone, so today I wanted to go over how to hem a project, a sewing project, to finish it up. Sometimes there are like tutorials out there and they'll show you how to do everything, and at the very end they'll just be like, okay, now you just have to hem it. Or there's like patterns that will show you how to sew something up, and then at the very end they're like, okay, now you just hem it. And so I wanted to go over in detail how to do that. So depending on what kind of machine you have, that's kind of how you will do it. So if you only have a regular machine and that's all you have, then we'll go over how to hem something with just that. If you have a serger and a regular machine, then I can show you how to do something with both of them that's a little bit faster, and it will look a little bit more done, professional. And then if you have a cover stitch machine, I will show you how to use the cover stitch machine. And also cover stitch machines can be a little tricky, so I found this little gadget here that I will link down below that will help make hemming with a cover stitch machine a lot faster and easier. Alright, so now that we kind of went over what machines we'll be looking at, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first we're going to be using our regular machine to do our hem. So what we're going to want to do first is grab a gauge, a measure, and you're going to want to fold your hem up about 1/4 inch, which is going to be right here. So you're going to do that all the way around your project. So just folding it up a little bit and measuring, making sure that it's right at that 1/4. And then we're going to, as we measure, we're also going to iron it down so that it stays where we want it to be. Okay, once that is all folded up and ironed 1/4 inch, you're going to fold it up again and iron it down at 1/2 inch. So we're just going to measure 1/2 inch, iron it down, and then continue doing that for your whole hem part. Okay, so now we'll add some clips just to help keep it in place as we sew. Okay, so now we're just going to sew it up. So when we're sewing, we're going to want to sew right on that edge of the fold. You don't want to sew too far down because this will just flop over. So you want to make sure that you're going as close to the edge as you can. Alright, so now we're going to sew it. We're going to place it down right on that edge. We're going to back stitch and then start to sew forward with a regular straight stitch. Okay, so once we're done with that, it will look a little like this. You'll have a straight stitch here, and then when you turn it around, close to that edge is where you'll have that nice and tucked in, no raw edges, and you're done. Okay, so now if we have a serger machine, what we're going to do is we're going to serge the edge here, just regular, just like if you were to serge anything else. It's going to look a little like this. So now we'll just take it and we're going to fold that edge up about 1/2 inch. So that serged edge is going to go up. You can use your measuring gauge again to make sure you have it correct. Measure it up about 1/2 inch. And if you are new to this, I would still suggest you use an iron to iron that down so it's easier for you to sew. And then again, we're going to sew right on that edge using a straight stitch with our regular machine. Okay, once that's done, it's going to look a little like this. We have our straight stitch here on the front, and then on the back, we have it looking like this. And that is how you would do it with a serger and a regular machine. Lastly, if you have a cover stitch machine, this is what we're going to be doing. So depending on how big you want your hem to be, so I usually like to have mine about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to fold that up about 1/2 inch, again ironing it just to make that sewing a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it up about 1/2 inch and then iron that down. You can also add clips once you're done ironing to keep it down. So now we're going to go over to our sewing machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this here and we're going to make sure those needles are going to be sewing right at where that fold ends, where the fabric ends on the other side. So I kind of like to feel here, put my fingers right where that fold is, where the fold ends, and make sure that my needles are going right on top of that fold. So you can see my fingers, I'm just kind of like feeling, making sure that that fold end is right where my needles are. It is kind of a guessing game if you're not used to it, but once you've done it a few times, it'll become easier. Okay, once it's done, it's going to look a little like this. We have the finished edge here on the back, and then on the front, it will have that double stitch here. Okay, so the bonus trick here with the cover stitch is I have this little gadget here that I got on Etsy. I will link it down below, but I just place it right in here, and it is specific to my machine, but you would have to read on there. It tells you what machines it will work for, so make sure that your machine specifically will work with the gadget. Okay, so grab your fabric and you're going to place it. There's like a little crack in the gadget where you place the fabric in. Just kind of push it in there. And then once it's in there all the way, you're going to fold it over to give it that hem folding. And then I grab 2 clips and I clip it in the front and in the back just to keep that in place as I'm putting it on my machine. Okay, so now that it's secure, we're going to place it in there, and I'm going to take off one of the clips, lift up my foot, and place it right underneath there. Bring down my foot and start sewing. So on this one, all we have to do is just make sure that that edge is a little bit folded over. It doesn't have to be perfect because the gadget will do most of the work, but you just have to make sure that that fold or that edge is folded over a little bit. So you can see here I have it a little bit folded and I'm just kind of guiding it through. Alright, so then we have it done, and here's the front with that double stitch, and then the back finished up on that raw edge, and there you have it. Alright, that is it. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and that it was helpful for you, and hopefully it will help make those sewing projects a lot easier. Alright, I'll see you next time.